Today, I would normally be focusing my efforts on, well, PMSNBC because Jen Psaki, old Circleback herself, is kind of destroying PMSNBC. But we're going to set those ladies aside for a moment, the most toxic ladies in news, and go to the other most toxic ladies in news over at ABC, the Disney company. That show that, is more like a soap opera than anything else. It's called The View. And those ladies over there are, well, in addition to being terribly awful human beings, they're also terribly overpaid, or at least many of them are. And there's a giant pay disparity over there that I don't think anybody is aware of or pays attention to. And the fact that clearly merit doesn't mean much over there, you're going to be shocked at what these kids make. Well, these aren't kids. These are very old premenopausal women. But we'll jump over that for now. You ready? Here we go. Now, just a quick reminder, I am on my way to 50K, at least in the next month. I would like to get there by the end of June. We're only about 10,000, 11,000 subscribers away. You can help me get there. All you have to do is share this video around, hit the thumbs up button, make comments down below. Comments are key, folks. And turn on your notification bell so you don't miss anything. If you're not currently subscribed, I don't know why not. I give you information each and every day, almost every single day of the week, with the exception of maybe Sunday, which, give me one day off. That's really all I ask for. But let's leave it right there and get to the fact that Disney is, wow, a very unfair employer. And look, you can certainly reward longevity. And these ladies are pretty long in the tooth. Longevial? They've been around a long time, and you can tell, especially since a lot of those surgeries aren't working anymore, ladies. But set that all aside, of course, and that's a little bit mean by me, but I don't really care. So The View have wide-ranging salaries depending upon how long they've been there. Kind of, sorta, maybe, not really. You see, the salaries for somebody like Whoopi Goldberg runs up to $8 million. She is the top paid person on that show. Why? I don't know. I don't think she's worth $8 million, but again, it's not my choice. You see, every single year, you end up with some new people, or every few years you end up with some new people on this show. What they start at is shocking. That's right. $250,000. I'm not sure who they're saying is a fan favorite, but there's only two new ladies and they both make the same amount. So one of them is, I guess. Somebody find me fans of this show, first and foremost. Regardless, The View salaries fall between $250,000 and $8 million. Now, this writer put this story together back in November 21st of 2024. This story's been updated multiple times so that you really don't have to do any additional work, and you get a new byline at the top of a website such as FandomWare, which is where this comes from. Why I picked this up, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you this much. At least it had all the information. When you take a look at The View, well, then you don't want to anymore. Most people, anyway. But when you take a look at The View, it's incredibly biased, and it's not balanced. It's certainly not ideologically sound in any way. But at the same time, you have people that are, delivering this same haranguing harassment to the rest of us for some form of a salary. And again, Whoopi Goldberg is certainly going to be the highest paid because she's the most well-known outside of Joy Behar, who, believe it or not, is the second best paid. Set that all aside and realize that these people are paid too much money for what they do, which is chronically lied to you. But this show's been running for nearly 3 decades. The View is one of the biggest talk shows on television, if you are only counting linear television, and it has a steadily declining audience, especially after the most recent election. And while their ratings do fluctuate, I don't know where they're getting some of these numbers from, because I don't know anybody that watches the show. You can take a look at the reported salaries of all 6 hosts here in this story, which we're going to, and get a little bit of dirt, like the fact that the co-hosts on this show don't believe Alyssa Farah Griffin's authenticity of questioning, I guess, the party she came from, although Ana Navarro is straight up turncoat. Regardless, The View brings a unique touch to talk shows with its multi-generational elderly panel of women. and it's been running for 3 decades, and it seems like Whoopi Goldberg, despite her tenure, has been doing it for 100 years at this point in time. The show's gone through a wide array of female hosts over the years, including some that would be considered genuine conservatives, although I didn't really believe that, and a mistreatment of one of the nicest people on the planet, Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Now, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah Haynes, Sunny Houston, Anna Navarro, and Alyssa Farah Griffin are the cast of the current 2025 View. And technically, this is season 28, giving it just 2 more years until we can have a 30th anniversary if they make it that far. Because rumor has had it that Bob Iger's not super thrilled with the show, has tried to redirect it somewhat kindly, and is more than willing to let this thing slide. Like many other shows that are in these time slots, there's a better way to get money here, and it's not spending this kind of money on this show. Now, it goes without saying that the host's salaries are directly proportional to the time that they have spent on the show. Maybe it goes without saying for an outlet that's kind of simple-minded, like FandomWire, but normally hosts are paid what they're worth or what their value is, not exactly related to the amount of time. It's usually commensurate with their star power, and all of these ladies contribute roughly equally. The only person that has additional duties on the regular would be Whoopi Goldberg, who kind of plays, the lead chicken in the yard. Joy Behar should make more money than the newcomers like Alyssa Farah Griffin or Anna Navarro, and she does, but not for the reasons that you think. It's certainly not merit-based, which is something Disney's all about. It's all about the DEI style of payment, hiring, promotion, and salary increase structure. But we'll get to that in just a moment. So the 2022 salaries seem to be consistent with what the salaries are today. Goldberg, as I said before, earns $8 million a year. Behar, $7 million a year. These ladies make $15 million combined for providing very little outside of, some random cackling, chronic lying, and myopic views on The View, which you would think would be more inclusive and be a full landscape of the world around them, which they apparently don't recognize. The one-time American lawyer and author Sunny Houston, I don't care, joined back in 2016. Her reported salary is $1.6 million. That's right. And then you have Sarah Haynes that came in from 2016 to 2018, took 2 years off back in 2020. She's a journalist. She's reportedly making $1.5 million a year. She's a journalist? I don't think so. Needless to say, quite a difference between the 2 paychecks of those Behar and Goldberg, but apparently it's because of the longevity of service. I'm going to tell you right now, I would rather listen to something that Sarah Haynes had to say than either Sunny, Goldberg, or Behar, but I guess we can just leave it at that. And for the 2 new girls that are just trying to pretend like they once held some conservative beliefs, Anna Navarro joined in 2022, and so did Alyssa Farah Griffin. They earned $250,000 each. That's not very much money, especially when you're in the city of New York. In fact, they're probably going paycheck to paycheck and, maybe even having to go to a food kitchen once a week, because have you seen their waistlines? Anyway, you can take a look at the time present and the amount of money that people have made since they've been there, and this is where we're at. $7 million for Behar, Whoopi Goldberg at $8, 1.6 for Sunny overpaid Houston and soon-to-be-in-prison husband. Sarah Haynes for $1.5 million, Anna Navarro $250, and Alyssa Farah Griffin $250. Why is there such a wide range and such a disparity in their pay? They say because of time served. Well, if that's the case, you need to start paying your audience because they've been serving a long, long time watching a show full of narrow scope views and completely absent global perspective. Regardless of how much these ladies make, how do they make you feel? Because that's honestly the question here. Does this show make you feel like watching it? Can you take anything these ladies say to the bank? Has their clearly focused partisanship kept the show from growing, expanding, or even being watchable? All of these questions I think are relevant, so let me know your thoughts on this show, what they're paid, whether or not it's fair, and any other thoughts you have down in the comments section below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya! But not on The View.